been a murder, and we need you to solve it. Now, before you interview the suspects, I'll tell you everything you need to know. To the mansion was the residence of the illustrious Sir Hugh and his nephew, Mr. Bodie. I served as butler for both Sir Hugh and Mr. Bodie. Incidentally, my name is Mr. Butler. Now, if you think it's strange that my name is Mr. Butler and that I am a butler, well, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I was so devastated when Sir Hugh passed away. I nearly lost my composure and shed a single tear. And then Mr. Bodie inherited Tudor Mansion. Mr. Bodie then invited 6 guests for supper. And as with everything regarding Mr. Bodie, why he wanted to host a gathering, much less with these guests in particular, is information that he shared with no one. But he certainly had something in mind by inviting Miss Scarlet, Mr. Green, Mrs. Peacock, Professor Plum, Dr. Orchard, and Colonel Mustard into his home. I escorted each of the guests to the dining room as they arrived, and at 7:45 p.m. all of the guests were seated and waiting, but Mr. Bodie had yet to appear. I informed all the guests that I would ring the dinner bell precisely at 8, and they were free to wander the mansion as they pleased, so the guests dispersed, and I attended to my duties. Well, now at 8 o'clock I rang the dinner bell, and a loud scream was heard. Everybody rushed here, namely to the main hallway, and we were horrified to discover Mr. Bodie had been murdered. Right here. Taking his pulse, I declared him dead, and I noticed that his watch had stopped at 7:57. This only happens when a person has been murdered. Mr. Bodie's death was no accident. I immediately isolated the guests from each other, locking them into their rooms from which they'd emerged. I couldn't have them walking around all free when any one of them could have been the murderer. I rang the police and I asked them, I said, "Send your best detectives." When I returned to the hallway, though, Mr. Bodie's body was gone, and I have been unable to locate it. Well, detectives, now that you all have arrived with your deductive brilliance, I'll escort you to each of the rooms where the suspects await.